talking loud in the nighttime air. Voices clash without a care. Opinions flare like they matter so. But who's right we'll never know. Microphones like weapons drawn. Swagger in the twilight dawn. Each word iron, each thought steel. To be heard is the final deal. Howling offense in the midnight haze. Everybody's offended, each one sways. We're offended, you're offended, that's the way. Claim the night with the things we say. Truths clash like broken dreams. Voice to voice, let it scream. What's real in this foggy light? Bow hard till the morning light. Feel the hunger of the crowd. Anxious to erupt so loud. Unity in discord side. Witness as their worlds collide. Howling offense in the midnight haze. Everybody's offended, each one sways. We're offended, you're offended, that's the way. Claim the night with the things we say. Truths clash like broken dreams. Raise your voice, let it scream. What's real in this foggy light? Battle hard till the morning light. Feel the hunger of the crowd. Anxious to erupt so loud. Unity in discord's tide. Witness as their worlds collide. Howling offense in the midnight haze. Everybody's offended, each one sways. We're offended, you're offended, that's the way. Claim the night with the things we say. We say. We say. We say. We say. We say.
My mother twitted my fucking temples!
How can we dash when our earth is turning?
They don't produce anything. They don't do anything.
How do we sleep while our beds are burning? How can we dance when our earth is turning?
Does this look better? You can see more of my tits. I don't know. Does this, do I look more? This is weird though. It's totally breaking the illusion that I have a super sweet office. The hell? Hold on. I thought I fixed it, but apparently not. Today on the 6 o'clock news, another trans-identified individual has gone on a shooting spree. Does this look better? I think it looks better. Why do I look like a white supremacist? I gotta grow my hair back. Sorry, I'm kind of doing a bit of a streamception today because I'm just editing yesterday's video, and while we were live, another trans-identified individual started shooting up a joint. So that's where we are. So I'll have the other show playing in the. Oh, can I not? Okay. Yeah, so like I said, I'm just editing this, and this was a story that was breaking. actually while we were live. Pretty crazy. Crazy what we're seeing happening. Again, trans individual decided to shoot up a hockey rink to try and eliminate his children. His children. That's what we're dealing with. I guess we'll go through some things on X. Because unfortunately, we can't trust the media. The media, we've seen time and time again how they've dropped the ball on every single event that has taken place. Every single one. They've either hidden information, obfuscated, lied by omission, technicalities, misappropriating quotes, creating quotes that don't actually exist. So the media has done a fantastic job of nuking its own credibility into the ground, while, everything else seems to, basically the media today does basically the same thing we do. They don't do on the ground reporting. They don't do actual journalism. They lambaste people like Nick Shirley or Nick Sorter or anyone that's on the ground actually doing things, actually finding out what's going on. And I think this is the big break that we're seeing here. That people who are actually on the ground, actually seeing it, because the media, you couldn't be everywhere, but we used to have cool investigative journalists that would go into a place, do exposing corruption and all this type of stuff. Now we don't. We have a bunch of people that go on, with their gender studies degree, go on X, they don't report anything on Blue Sky. That's the funny thing, that everyone needs to go to Blue Sky and everyone needs to go to Threads or whatever other things. But they keep saying on X, user on X, this person, all the videos and everything that they get is from X. It's from nowhere else. So that should tell you everything that you guys need to know with how these people actually operate. So they basically do the exact same thing, except they just have a bias that they say, actually, we're not biased. We don't give biased information. We try to give the facts. Of course you do, media. Of course you do. Kick this back on the screen. So what was this? Let's see. Fat kid gets in trouble over ICE protest. Punchy. I don't know. That sounds funny. It sounds stupid. People punchy. What the fuck? Don't look at my. Oh, you weird. You actually can't see what I'm typing. Unusual, or can you? No, you can't. Unusual. Fat kid. I was a fat kid, and then I hit puberty, and then I became a skinny kid, and then I became a fat kid again, or a fat man. Fat man. I'll pull up. I'll pull up this. Share. I'm aware it's sharing a different screen. Thank you, StreamYard. So we'll just go with some of the latest, or should we go with the top? We'll go with the top first. I guess what the libs of your TikTok. So breaking: Rhode Island trans shooter tweeted yesterday warning that you shouldn't point out that trans women are really men or they will go berserk. A real Real stable individual. That looks like a woman. I don't know about you guys, but that looks like a woman. I don't know. That yeah, they look about the same. The Tim whatever the McBride thing, whatever. They have to like tuck and hide their Adam's apple. So Rhode Island should have reportedly identified as Robert Durgan, who went to later be named Roberta. All right, Bob. So for Benny Johnson, it is now being reported that the Pawtucket, Rhode Island hockey arena shooter was transgender. Yeah, and he says Tumblr Ridge shooter, transgender. Annunciation Catholic Church, transgender. Nashville Christian school shooter, or fuck, whatever. Lakewood Church, trans. Colorado Springs, trans. Denver, trans. Aberdeen shooter, trans. Iowa High School, trans shooter. Charlie Kirk was dating a trans person. Trump's attempted assassination, Thomas Crooks used they them pronouns, had a deep interest in furries, and was exploring gender identity. Now, the thing with this type of stuff, we a people, we evolved over hundreds of thousands of years. We evolved to recognize patterns. That's what kept us alive. Whether it was a mushroom that had a certain pattern, okay, then, eventually enough people die that we associate with, hey, that means bad. Right? That's what kept us, kept the human species going forward, was pattern recognition. Right? Our ability to discern things. So when you see instances like this, when you see a trend, whether it's just because these are getting more media attention and because it's becoming a topic of discussion more and more, that people are, whether they're creating a pattern or a pattern actually exists, that's obviously very, I think those things can inform each other. Have anyone out there, if I'm sure you've all done this, I know I've done this tons of times. Whenever you buy a car, you recognize suddenly all the number of people that have that same car, right? So whether it is because this has become so hyper focused, people are paying attention to this a lot more than they were, say, maybe 5 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. That's now where our where our focus is actually moved towards. That, hey, we're noticing a trend here, pattern recognition. Well, this wasn't happening before, and why now? So I think it's fair to make those, kind of make those inferences and try to deduce, well, is there actually something going on here, or am I looking into something that doesn't actually exist? And I think that's what's actually, we're being told, don't recognize the patterns. The patterns you're seeing are actually because you're racist. It's actually your fault that you're noticing a pattern because of your unconscious bias or whatever thing they want to try and deflect from what's actually being discussed, from the pattern recognition that's going on. Bloody thing. Activate. Yeah, so it's another trans shooter. Another trans shooter. Let's see what the media is saying with regards. Well, you know what? We'll do a little more. I'll do this. I'll show you guys, even though I know a bunch of you are on X right now, but I will show you guys the duplicitous nature that is the media. So everyone's reporting, okay, this guy was somehow like a neo-Nazi trans supporter or anti-Trump, anti-Trump supporter, Nick Fuentes fan. There's too many labels. There's too many labels. Can we just say this person had clearly a mental health issue? Is that a thing? Can we do that? Is that a thing that we can do? Can we say someone targeting their family? The father, and this is what is actually so much worse, is the father is supposed to be the protector of the family. You know, the whole thing feminists get really pissy about, that there are gender roles or societal roles. They get pissy about that. It's worse is because the one that was supposed to be your protector became your I don't know, your predator, I guess. Man. You know, I can one fantastic account, and if you guys aren't aware of it, zero hour does he does some really good of trying to compile information and trying to get as much out as like accurately as I think. My headphones just restart. The hell? Okay. My headphones just made a weird sound. Sorry, I'm looking on another screen. If you couldn't tell by me looking over there. So we have this. This was initially, I believe it was reported on last night. What was this? What was this? Do we? I think. Hold on. I'll ask the. I know it's hard to hear the question. Do you know if the person was a male or female, or referred to as a transgender person?
So what I can say right
I
now
can't
that
really
we
hear
have
the rest.
identified the person, the suspect, by a birth name. The birth name was Robert Dorgan. We have also learned that the person does go by the name of Roberta, also uses a last name of Esposito. But again, that will be all confirmed throughout the course of the investigation as to their status. That really doesn't have anything to do with the investigation.
That doesn't have anything to do with the investigation. I seen this last night, and it actually it bothered me a bit. That has nothing to do with the investigation, whether the person was using pseudonyms, aliases, etc. Again, at the top, at the start of this, pattern recognition. What are we actually seeing? What are we actually seeing here? Are we seeing a mental health crisis being covered up by the big dollars to big pharma? Is that it? Is it because these pharmaceutical companies spend billions of dollars in order to ensure their products are as attractive as possible to their burgeoning business interests? Is it maybe that? Am I noticing a pattern that doesn't exist? That doesn't have an impact. Right, because we don't look at motives of people. When have we never looked at the motives of someone? All of this, you know, everyone still references Columbine. We looked at everything. Marilyn Manson got labeled was a reason why those two kids, whatever, shot up their school in Columbine. It was violent video games. That's why it was actually violent video games. Yeah, but they also had Pop Tarts in their bedroom. Did you know that? They had Pop Tarts. Maybe it was the Pop Tarts. You know, do you think, you know, a little Occam's razor here? You know, the whole thing of a story that makes the least conclusions tends to be the correct one.
1969 he was born.
1969, apparently a MAGA supporter, but anti-Trump, anti-Semite. Apparently loved Nick Fuentes or something. Like, okay. How about it was just a mentally deranged individual? Like, how about look at me? Maybe I'm just, you know, grasping at straws here. Maybe what influenced his decision to act like this? Because people have already scraped his accounts. This wasn't like some anonymous person. He's posted quite a bit online. He's not an unknown individual per se. So this you know, I'll say the post millennial, like they have their slant, but I tend to find that they try to be accurate in their reporting. So this is from the post millennial. So, a trans suspect in mass shooting at Rhode Island hockey game identified as Roberta Dorgan. Pawtucket Police Chief Tina Goncalves. The hell, get a better last name. Identified the man who opened a fire at Pawtucket, Rhode Island youth hockey game. A 56-year-old Robert Dorgan, who also went by Roberto Esposito. Yeah, dude, if you can't even tell like what's between your legs, this is why like this stuff, the whole transgenderism is so insidious because it's actually attack on reality. That's actually what it is. It's so much more insidious because you can't see it. It's weaponizing mental health. Yeah, the youth hockey game turned into a crime scene Monday after a domestic dispute erupted in gunfire, leaving 3 people dead, including Dorgan, and 3 others injured. According to the Associated Press, Dorgan was dressed in women's clothing. God, I hate the AP. The shooting happened at the Dennis M. Lynch Arena. Yeah, Valley High School, which includes St. Joseph K. Blah blah blah. Families were in the stands when shots rang out. Dorgan was a father of a North Providence High School senior and shot 5 members of the student's family. The gunman's ex-wife died at the hockey rink, while an adult sibling of the student died at the hospital. Pawtucket Police Chief Tina Goncalves said that the 3 people injured are in critical condition. A source with the Bureau, the ATF, they added explosives, told Fox News the incident was a domestic violence situation that escalated into a murder-suicide. Oh, it's not even showing the right screen. God damn it. A woman who spoke with reporters as she exited the Pawtucket Police Department claimed, "My father was the shooter." Holy fuck. She added, "He shot my family and he's dead now." Fuck. That's insane. Imagine that. Could you imagine that? My dad was the attacker. My father was the shooter. Law enforcement quickly flooded the area. Witnesses described people running from the arena. An employee at a nearby Walgreens told local media that patrons rushed into the store in a panic, saying there was an active shooter. Jesus. Coventry Public School Superintendent Don Cowart confirmed that all students from the Coventry boys hockey team were accounted for and safe. District officials were notified of the situation while the team was at the arena and immediately began coordinating with event staff and law enforcement. An officer from the Coventry Police Department is on scene and remains with the students. You know, I'm going to deposit something here. I'm just, you know what? I'm going to make an observation. That's what we do. We make observations. I don't know how founded this is. Just reading this. So he had an ex-wife, apparently that she didn't like that he was transitioning. And especially someone, let's say, you know, that goes from like right wing to, I don't know. I guess his ideology was he was like a far right extremist, I guess, right? Is that a fair assertion to make? But so could it maybe be because this individual was actually shifting, moving from where they initially were? Fuck, I don't even know. I don't know how to say it without coming across like an asshole. You think maybe his wife had something to do with his with him falling into this type of thing? Like it's just an observation. Like we don't know what was said. We don't know what was said at the rink. All we know, I believe Andy No had reported on it yesterday. I'll see if I can find it. Andy No had talked about their divorce papers. That something was written down. How the hell does he spell no? Andy No. Is it G-N? Never mind. NGO. Andy No. So he had something about their divorce papers. Yeah, keep bashing us, but wonder why we go berserk. Keep bashing us. This shows, like, this actually shows how deceitful, again, how invasive this type of ideology is because it actually weaponizes outward affirmation, validation, rather than internal. So instead of this individual, like, hey, you know what? If you want to be a man with big bazongas and whatever, okay, fine. I don't really care. But when someone criticizes not you, someone else is actually criticizing someone else, and your response is, I'm that person. Keep bashing us. These people demand outward validation. They need everyone. It's like it's no different than with COVID. My vaccine doesn't work if you don't get the shot. It's like it's this weird collectivist. It's gross. It's gross. I'm just trying to see if I could find. So Andy No had reported on it. See if I could find it. Because she had said something about that she didn't support the trans, like this person becoming trans, and there was other things apparently on it. Oh, I wish I could find it. I don't know. Maybe he pulled it down. Maybe it was made in error. So then, if I can't find it, I'll drop it. I'll drop it. FBI Cash Director Kash Patel wrote on FBI Boston is responding to the shooting this afternoon at Dennis Lynch Arena. We will provide state and local law enforcement any and all resources necessary to keep the public updated as we are able. In the meantime, pray for the victims and their families. Providence Bruins also released a statement expressing support for those affected and thanking the first responders. Can I don't, not like I need to ask permission, but like can we be real here? I'm getting really sick of hearing the thoughts and prayers thing with no change actually coming from it. It's like, it's like the old Facebook days of 1 like equals 1 prayer for blah, blah, blah. Like I'm actually getting really tired of just like thoughts and prayers with the family. It's like, how many more of these instances need to happen before someone actually decides to do something? Whether legislators get involved, whether people start protesting while people, actually get out and start doing something. Are people calling their schools and saying that this stuff needs to end? Are they getting in touch with I don't know, with any members of their government, any members of a community or community leaders, and expressing their displeasure, their absolute disdain that this has been allowed to metastasize and fester and become this giant boogeyman that we now have to deal with? Is like, when do the thoughts and prayers end and action actually begins? That's my question. When do the thoughts and prayers end and action begins? How many more children need to be killed before someone actually takes this shit seriously? Before someone actually stands up, speaks up, and speaks out? How many more? After the shooting, it was revealed that Dorgan was vocal about trans identity and advocacy on social media. Just 1 day before the shooting, Dorgan wrote, "Keep bashing us, but wonder why we go berserk." Dorgan wrote in response to a post saying that transgender Delaware Rep Sarah McBride is a man. This is what I mean. This is what I mean by like this stuff. It's so insidious because it actually weaponizes your own reality. Oh, fuck. This person's not even attractive. Like there's some hot, like there's some trannies that pull it off. Like they're holy shit. Like you're hot. But you ain't it, Jack. Dorgan frequently posted photos from gym or with his motorcycle. He wrote about being transgender on social media, including a post of a guillotine over a urinal. Probably a lot cheaper than 66 grand. 66 grand, I tells you. What the fuck? And writing in response to the post telling transgender people to not be scared away from starting a family. Trans woman, 6 kids, wife, not thrilled. Yeah, because you betrayed her. You betrayed her. You betrayed her. You became so self-absorbed, so narcissistic. No, maybe I shouldn't say narcissistic, but so consumed by your own world. You didn't think about your children. You didn't think about your wife. You didn't think about all the implications and the impact of the people that depend on you. You were more concerned about my hedonistic whatever I need to get off on. That's what this guy was more concerned about. Per WPRI, Dorgan's gender identity played a role in multiple family disputes over the years. Yeah, I would say so. In 2020, Dorgan went to the North Providence Police Department reporting that he had recently undergone a sex change surgery and that his father-in-law wanted him out of the house because of it. Based. Dorgan claimed that his father-in-law threatened to have him murdered by an Asian street gang. What the fuck? If he did not move out of the residence. What the? Then there's no goddamn way a tranny is going to stay in my house. The father-in-law was charged with in connection with the incident. However, the charges were dismissed. What the fuck? I'm gonna have an Asian street gang. Bullshit. They're gonna crash their cars on the way there. What are you talking about? Around the same time, Dorgan's then wife, Rhonda Dorgan, filed for divorce. She initially wrote gender reassignment surgery, narcissistic and personality disorder traits. Oh, okay, there we go. Under a section for grounds for divorce, but crossed that out and wrote irreconcilable differences which have caused the immediate breakdown of the marriage. And this was written last night, so I would assume the Post Millennial would update that. Gender reassignment surgery, narcissistic and personality disorder traits. Irreconcilable differences which have caused the immediate breakdown of the family. That's why this stuff is so insidious. It weaponizes people's mental health, the feelings of despair, and it goes to 11. All right. Let's continue on with this for a little bit. That's me. Check that out. All right. I don't know. I don't know what we need to do with this. I don't know what's actually going to snap people out of this. Oh, a little bit more. Take that out of context, please. um, at least people, slaves back in the day were putting in work. And I hate that I had to learn how to spell freaking Billie Eilish's name. I don't know how to spell her actual name. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take. I really don't. Far too much of this stuff is happening. The left, I'm sure. You know, I want to see that thing from AP. Okay, so we know this was a transgender individual. We know this. This isn't up for dispute. No one's changing the narrative. Although I guarantee you, there the arguments from the left. This is why we need to protect trans people, and this is why guns are bad. I guarantee you. Let's see what the AP has to say. Shooting junior Rhode Island hockey game left 3 people dead. Okay, yeah, that someone helped bring a swift end to the violent. Actually, I'll say this. Apparently, someone did try to subdue this individual. Someone did, and that person is a hero. That person, whoever attempted to actually stop this psychotic fuck, is a hero. And that is one thing I find incredible about people. It's, you know, the idea or the vision in my head was during when 9/11 happened. It wasn't the people that were running away. Look at all the people that were running towards it. And that says something. That really does say something. I don't know who the individual was that attempted to stop them, but they're a hero. All right, pull this back up. Yeah, so told reporters that someone helped to bring a swift end to the violence seen Monday afternoon by intervening and trying to subdue the shooter. Oh, there you go. Who was at an arena to watch a family member's hockey game. The shooter died from an apparent self-inflicted gun wound, she said, noting that authorities were still investigating. It appears that this was a targeted event. It may be a family dispute. Goncalves identified the shooter as Robert Dorgan, who she said also went by the name Roberta Esposito and was born 1969. Yeah, they left out, well, whatever. We've seen it. Police chief did not provide further details about the shooter or the victims, except for saying it appeared that both victims who died were adults. She said investigators are trying to piece together what happened and have spoken with scores of witnesses who were there inside Dennis Lynch Arena in Pawtucket, a few miles outside of Providence. They also reviewing video taken from the hockey game. Unverified footage circulating on social media shows player diving for cover and fans fleeing their seats after popping sounds are heard. You know, the one thing, defend, suck my dick, AP. Defend press freedoms. Fuck you. The one thing that actually made it hard, I think, because the initial time you hear like the first few pops, It sounded like a stick when you smack it on the ice. Now, how Canadian are you? That's what it sounds like when you smack a stick on, specifically in an arena. That's what that smacking sounded like, or the popping. It sounded like someone smacking a stick on the ice. So outside the arena, tearful families and high school hockey players still in uniform were seen hugging before they boarded a bus to leave the area. Monday's shooting came nearly 2 months after Rhode Island was rocked by a gun violence tragedy at Brown University, where a gunman killed 2 students and wounded 9 others. That shooter went on to also fatally shoot a Massachusetts Institute of Technology professors. Authorities later found, I don't give a shit. The fortunate thing is that the 2 incidents are not related, but it is very tragic. They're what? That maybe I'm dumb. I'm gonna hope that how I'm reading this is that this is just add context to a different incident entirely. Okay, which is typically how paragraphs operate. Like, here is one thought, and next paragraph is a new thought. But how this is reading, that they were associating the Brown University like Monday shooting. Okay, authorities later found Claudia. Okay, the fortunate thing is the 2 incidents are not related, but it's very tragic. That's not what she said. That wasn't the question that was even presented to her. They said about a trans individual. Maybe that tail end of the question that was asked, maybe it was in associating with Brown University. Maybe. Okay, I'll give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there was that part there that you just couldn't hear. I'll accept that. So these are high school kids. They were doing an event. They were playing with their families, watching a fun time, and it turned into this. Pawtucket is nestled just north of Providence. Okay. Okay. Funny that they, so if let's look at it this way. So if the Post Millennial is reporting that the Associated Press said that this was a man wearing a dress and they removed that, the Associated Press removed that this was a man wearing a dress. How the hell is it? How do you search particular words on a web page? Is it F11? No. Fuck, I can't remember how. Oh, F. I found F5 is how you refresh the page. Man in dress. Oh, see, okay. Look at in the comments. Why would that matter? Do they mention the manner of dress for the 999.999% of crimes that are committed? They ninja edited that. It doesn't say that anywhere in the article. They removed that. They actually removed that line. Shit, I don't have my vape juice here. It's in the truck. Do you see how deceitful that is? I think once you publish an article, it's set in stone. You don't get to make ninja edits. You don't get to hide, do your little creepy little edits here. This story has been corrected to show that the shooting occurred on Monday, not Tuesday. Yeah. How about where you decided to hide that this was actually a trans individual that did this? And these people have the nerve defend press freedom. Fucking propagandists. What? This just shows how deceitful these things are. Oh, see, this is kind of the nice thing with doing what I do is I have to read these articles and you have to go a little bit deeper than, just reading the headline. They stealth edited that type of information. Oh man. That that actually that's so deceitful. That's so bloody deceitful. This is why like it is so hard to trust the media and they don't do themselves any favors with this stuff. They don't. Because now the information that I had initially, if I go show someone the article, look, they even said it was a man in a dress and they remove it. Well, now my credibility, takes a nosedive. We're looking, it is literally watching one screen, two different films. When did you read the article is now incumbent on whether you are informed or are able to notice any of this stuff. Fortunately, the post millennial grabbed that little snippet. But how much did they miss? Let's see what CBS News says about this. CBS has been it's been pretty damn based. Let's see if they actually have anything here. See, this is why I CBS, honestly, CBS is becoming my go-to to see what's going on in the US. There you go. The Straight Dope. So from CBS, yeah, 2 people were killed and 3 others critically injured in a shooting at high school at a high school boys hockey game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, Monday afternoon. Pawtucket Police Chief Tina Goncalves said the suspect is also dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police said the shooting appeared to be a targeted incident involving a family dispute. Goncalves identified the shooter as Robert Dorgan. The police chief said the shooter, who was born in 1989, also used the name Roberto and the last name Esposito. A good Samaritan stepped in and interjected in the scene, and that's probably what led to a swift end to this tragic event. Goncalves told reporters on Monday. Oh, I didn't hear that she actually had brought that up. Federal agents at the ATF and FBI responded to assist state and local law enforcement. There you go. There you go. They give you the straight dope and then, updates as they come in. Like CBS is killing it. I honestly, CBS is becoming the website that I trust the most. It's wild. It's wild that this type of stuff is going on. To be normal, to just report the facts, not narrative spin, sorry, not any of this weird woo-woo garbage that gets yanked. That we actually can't understand what happened. It's insane. It's insane. This is one thing that happened yesterday that some people were quite surprised about. Hello everyone on X. I see a bunch of you guys before I move into this. Hello everyone over on X. There's no one on YouTube though. No one on YouTube. I wonder why. It's fine. I'm being I'm thinking I'm bigger than I am. I'm just yanking your chain, YouTube. We love you. We love CommieTube. So this article that I had brought up about this Muslim activist saying that animals should be banned, or dogs should be banned because of Islam. Yeah, that the number of like people that I see that are that were defending this. I'll see if I could pull up. Do I not have it? Oh yeah, I have it right here. No. So what is the old hadith? What does the hadith say about dogs? Here's a quick little synopsis for you all. So the Prophet Muhammad emphasized both the permissibility and restrictions regarding dogs based on their purpose and context. Regarding keeping dogs for non-essential reasons, whoever keeps a dog, one curate of the reward of his good deeds is deducted daily unless the dog is used for guarding or farm or cattle. All this stuff continues and carries on. It basically says that if you have a dog for work, for hunting, or that's guarding things, okay, your dog's okay. But outside of that, you are penalized. You are actively penalized for having a dog. In fact, it even says here, angels do not enter a house where there is a dog or a picture of a living creature. This hadith is cited in multiple sources, including Ibn Abbas and Abu Talha, and reflects the spiritual atmosphere of homes with dogs. The messenger of Allah commanded that dogs be killed, but he made an exception for hunting dogs and sheep dogs. This reflects the context of public safety, particularly rabies control, where stray or dangerous dogs were targeted. Later, the Prophet restricted this to only ferocious or dangerous dogs, such as those with black fur and 2-eye spots, described as a devil. If a dog licks a vessel, then wash it 7 times and rub it the 8th time with dust. Yeah, we don't clean with dust. So this establishes a clear ritual purification process, indicating that dogs are considered impure in Islamic law, but their contact is manageable through purification. And in fact, this was an interesting thing that I had seen. The messenger of Allah used to order that dogs be killed. And I went through Al Madinah, and we do not spare any dog, but we killed it to such an extent that we would even kill the dog of a woman belonging to the desert people. Okay. All right. So there's a little more context for everyone. But I will continue on. Like I said, this is kind of just like a chill stream. I'm editing yesterday's video, just getting the clips up. So I figured just while doing this, we can have a bit of a discussion, talk about what's actually going on, and yeah, actually address some of this stuff. I think they think dogs are gross. Just throwing it out there. There we go. I was muted and talking. I'm an idiot. Whatever. That guy knows maybe one or two things. Oh, what was this from the Post Millennial? Oh, right. That was the article that I was reading. Based. What a base take. Yep. New York City. Yep. I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna take. I don't know what it's gonna take. For the left, for the right to start doing something, and the left to you know stop this deflecting crap. I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and we were talking about like gay conversion therapy, and I don't see a way of changing like Canada's current laws. Sorry, I'll minimize this. Changing Canada's current laws without addressing gay conversion therapy, because that is the linchpin. That is the linchpin, I think. So if we don't actually address Bill C-4 within Canada, these atrocities are going to continue to happen, and they're going to continue to happen more. I don't want this stuff to happen. I don't. But it almost feels like, you know, but I don't, do you guys remember there was this meme, like one of those like Wojak memes of like this, like, you know, poorly, like really ugly drawn trans persons like affirm me or I'll kill myself or I'll commit suicide. It's like that has been ratcheted up to affirm me or I'm going to kill your kids. That's what it seems like. It went from, oh, you no longer affirm my delusions, then I'm going to make this your reality. Nine people just died in BC because of someone's actions and this whole push for this trans whatever, this transgenderism. And I don't know how you try and even remotely reconcile those. Like I don't know. I don't know if in Canada, if we just, you know, you just have to start locking people up or what. I don't know. I look at this more as if this is what our culture tolerates and this is what our culture accepts, then we will continue down this path. Then more children will be killed. More children are going to be harmed because of these decisions and because the people that write these laws and the people that it actually impacts are so disconnected. They won't feel the ramifications, but we have to. When we have like spineless like Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre sitting there holding hands, thoughts and prayers. The thoughts and prayers. I'm getting really tired of the whole this thoughts and prayers thing without any action. Getting really freaking tired of it. See if I can find the photo of it. I know Mark Nixon had shared the photo. I'll see if I could find it. Oh God. Driver charged after traveling more than 100 kilometers without a tire. They're not sending their best. They're not sending their best. Let's be real. Oh, see if I can find. Damn it! You post so bloody much. God damn it! There we go. Here we go. Right? First off,
Gay!
secondly, oh, sorry. Secondly, what's going to happen in response to this? What's going to be the response? Oops. What's going to be the response to this? Are conservatives actually going to swallow the bitter pill that they are the cause of all of this? I've been saying that I think individual that I had a conversation with, their view is that the liberals are are now more right leaning than the conservatives, and I kind of agree, though I don't. But I deposit this with Bill C4 and the conservatives trying to out liberal the liberals, actually shoved the Overton window so far left that in order for the liberals to still maintain their liberal progressive image, they themselves had to shift further left. And now it's like the liberals, it's like the liberals continue going left on screen, my right, your left. In order for them to continue shifting more, like the liberals keep going left, and then it's like the conservatives are keep like, but we want to be that too. But it's like they just keep pushing. It's like a magnet. It's like two magnets. They'll never meet, but you could push them and make them move, or the magnetism could make them move. It's like that. It's like the liberals trying to distance themselves from the conservatives are having to go, man, we're already at reality doesn't exist, and sex is a social construct, and gender is whatever you feel like that day, and every single socialist policy under the sun. Like, dude, we're actually running out of like left here. We're gonna have to start saying like white people and black people are either superior or inferior. That's how backed against the wall the liberals are with this conservative view. That's like where they are. They can't go any more left. How much more left? They eat every single liberal talking point. Canada is on stolen land, right? Okay. We already committed the blood libel that Canada isn't a real country, that we're all invaders. We don't belong here. The liberals already embraced that. They already talk about that laws are designed for people's historical and ancestral oppression. How much further can they go? They openly say that we have to centralize equity, has to be a central focus of our views. They specifically say this stuff, and the conservatives are like, well, I guess we got to move there, and the liberals are up against the wall. Pretty soon they're gonna quantum leap from like the far left to the far right, where they say that white people are superior than blacks. The white people are superior than all other races. Like that's where it's like they've all but said it. And if you think I'm lying, you're wrong. The whole idea of like let's look at it this way. Okay? Evil white man, okay? Evil white man's at the top, right? The evil white man built North America, yada 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 yada. Okay? The system was built for the evil white man. Now, in order for us to achieve something, we can't rise ourselves to that system. We need to lower them. What they are saying is white people are too superior, that we actually have to make them weaker in order to compete with them. That's their argument. That's the whole argument from the left. White people are superior, therefore we need to cut them down and make them our equal. You hear how ridiculous that sounds? Share the show, everyone. If you're in here, I see a bunch of you. I see a bunch of you. Share the show. Don't be gay. But this is their position. This is why I've never understood the distinction or the difference between the far left and the far right. They are saying the same things. Only difference is the white nationalist or the white supremacist are like, it should be white people at the top. And the left is saying, man, why is it always the white man at the top? That's it. That's the difference of their arguments. That's the difference. So stunning, so brave. I don't know. Apparently, we're supposed to be getting a wicked snowstorm here in Winnipeg. It's supposed to get like something like 25 centimeters of snow over like 2 days. It's not supposed to let up. So that's gonna be fun. I'm very much looking forward to not seeing anything. Whiteout conditions. Like that's actually one thing that's kind of a downer with my truck, like because its hood is so long. When I have to drive in, well, not when I have to, but when I'm driving in whiteout conditions, I literally can't see past my hood because it's so far away. But yeah. I think that's all I got. That's all I got for now. But like I said, before I leave, share the show. See you guys over on X. Oh, Wendy Bell just went live. Wendy Bell. I don't know who she is. All I know is someone somewhere is following her. Who else is? Tim Pool is live right now. Steven Crowder is live right now. Maybe we'll check this out for a quick sec.
Example, China's interest in some of these groups?
So this is a great question, and my part of the State Department, part of our job is to monitor and combat foreign propaganda and influence operations. And I think a lot of Americans, when they hear language like that, they feel distrustful because they think of the Russiagate smears against President Trump.
Right.
For a long time, when we heard about disinformation or misinformation online, it's just a way of calling President Trump and anyone who supports him a Russian bot, even when that was starkly untrue. And so I'm required to report to Congress on the sources of this foreign influence. And what my report says is, it says, sure, Russia and other foreign powers engage in some of this activity, but so does China. And in fact, China, we have documented ties. China funneling tens or hundreds of millions of dollars into organizations that are explicitly leftist, like Code Pink, like the People's Forum, like this, in a related web of socialist and progressive and intersectional leftist organizations that do things like protest the removal of Maduro, pro-Maduro protests, pro-Hamas protests, and anti-ICE protests as well.
Right.
And that is actually one interesting thing that she brings up. And I've talked about this before. I remember seeing an imam or whatever, a Muslim preacher, whatever, I don't really care, saying that the reason why they infiltrate left organizations, this is why you see almost all left-wing organizations, why all of them seem to have an affinity for Islam, is because Islam actively infiltrates them, because they see that those people don't have any morals or ethics. They can be absolutely co-opted. While it's extremely hard to infiltrate Christian organizations because they have a foundational belief system. So it's easier to infiltrate the left. And I see a lot of people are making similar or not accusations, but similar conclusions, or at least observations. Where this seems like that's where this is going. Islam will infiltrate the ideas and the ideologies who do not share a foundation. They don't actually have a foundation.
Right. And do you have, and this is just a genuine fishing question, because we've noticed this has infiltrated the right a little bit online with social activism. You just listed some anti-Maduro removal, some anti-ICE sentiment, pro-Hamas. Have you guys seen, or have you been able to track, or do you have a suspicion that maybe some funds are exchanging hands where it's kind of making its way to the right to veer them towards that?
I certainly, in the past, foreign adversaries have funded organizations across the political spectrum. I, sitting here, don't have evidence of China doing that, but to the extent that I would, I'd obviously collate and report for that data. I do think what's true is that there are elements of the right that have converged on this kind of third worldist mentality, where anything anti-American is correct. So you'd support Maduro, you'd support Hamas, and I think that that is a mentality kind of found in the fever swamps of the internet. I have not encountered it among conservatives that I know in the administration or conservatives that I've met on the street, but I've seen expos to that effect.
Yeah, well, we also saw that, for example, saw a bunch of conservative influencers saying we need to keep Coca-Cola on Snap. And whoa, wait, what happened here?
Yeah.
And then you see these same people saying Donald Trump needs to be impeached for the Iranian, the uranium refinement strike, which to me is still a miracle in military strategy. And I go, that doesn't seem very conservative. So, like I said, it was just a question. Going back to the polls, I think they can be called Polacks because they have a good sense of humor about themselves. But we love the polls. Have you noticed a difference? You mentioned them, how great they are. For example, Poland, Hungary, and other people more across Western Europe. Is there a really strong divergence?
I don't know how strong or stark it always is, but there's certainly a gradation. And I think it's obvious that people who lived under communism are more opposed and more deeply informed about the signs of the return of a kind of a smothering, left-leaning, totalizing form of social control that wants to surveil all of your communications and tell you what ideas are allowed. And when I was in Poland, I received a private personalized
Does that
tour
sound
of
like
the
Canada?
Museum, which was one of the most moving experiences I've had.
Does that sound like Canada?
So the Warsaw Uprising occurred after Poland was split and occupied half by Hitler, half by Stalin. And both Hitler and Stalin were essentially trying to kill off anyone in Poland who could resist them. So Stalin massacred about 22,000 people in a town called Katyn. Hitler banned Polacks from receiving education beyond elementary school because he wanted them to be slaves. He wanted them to be degraded. Polish priests were harassed.
Oh, I had brought up that in the Muslim faith, you're allowed to lie to further Islam. Yeah, it's from the taqiyya, refers to the practice in Islam of concealing one's faith or belief to avoid harm, persecution, or death, particularly in situations of extreme danger. However, it is not a general license to lie for personal or political gain, but rather a specific exception permitted under Islamic law when a Muslim's life, honor, or property is at risk due to their faith. So if they would be persecuted because of their positions, let's say on child marriage, yeah, they might try to obfuscate that one just a little bit. Most widely justification for taqiyya comes from the Quran 16:106, which states that a believer may outwardly disavow their faith if forced to do so, so long as their heart remains steadfast in belief. But all right, I think with that, let's I will wrap this up. Get out of here. I am looking forward to the inevitable snowstorm that I will have to deal with. But with that, thank you everyone for tuning in. It's nice to have just a kind of download and digest what's going on. I guess how the hell do I get out of this? I guess we will see you guys later. And maybe Tuesday I might be here. I might not. We'll see how that goes. All right. We'll see you guys later.